Welcome to Brother, Sister, Whatever with Real Talk and Zero Chill. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Josh. If you are into unfiltered conversations, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it.
Okay. So today we're going to deep dive into FOMO, why we feel it, how it messes with our heads, and whether we're actually missing out or just falling for the illusion. Plus,
Okay.
we've got some hot takes, a this or that showdown, and of course, our weekly what if. So let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, for our weekly what if, the question is, what if you had the power to instantly see what would have happened if you had said yes to every event or opportunity you ever skipped? But it is you only get to see the past. So, would you want to have the power to be able to see past events?
To see past events that I didn't go see.
That you never went, that you decided you said no to.
This is the great thing about my brain, is I don't remember shit. So, like this is I'd have to really think about this, I'm going to say, I'm sure maybe something will pop up while you're talking maybe, but I'll say this. I try, and I know it sounds cliche, I try to have like at least the least amount of regrets possible. So like my mind doesn't really go there. Like, oh man, if I would have went to that, I could have saw so and so, or whatever. So right now, nothing really comes to mind. I feel like everything kind of happens for a reason. Yeah, I know this is boring so far for me. But what about you?
I think what you don't know.
Won't hurt you?
Yeah. Yeah. What you don't know won't hurt you. Like, why bother? Because if you've said no and you didn't go, and you had the chance to like see what happened, and you saw all of this fun, like, but then on the flip side, sometimes your brain makes it out to be much more than it was. Like, oh, I couldn't go to that because I didn't have a choice. I had something else planned or whatever the case, and you really wanted to go to that event.
Right.
And all of the things in your head like that you missed, but really it was just like a boring dinner. Half the people left early, like it was nothing exciting. But you wouldn't know that really.
Yeah.
Unless you had that hindsight.
Unless like someone took a video and was like, look how
well,
much
that
fun
too.
we're having.
Unless you talk to somebody and they're like, yeah, it was boring as shit. And then you're like, okay, I didn't miss much. But, I don't know. I could see both sides.
I
don't think I would want to have that power.
I can see a lot of people having that, like, oh, if I would have went or
Of course.
so I definitely feel like there's probably a lot of people who feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you regret missing out even more, or would you realize you didn't actually miss anything great? I think I would have more FOMO having this power. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I already have enough fucking FOMO in my life.
Do you really?
Why bring it in? For some things, yes. Other things I don't give two shits about, but there's some things that, and it's usually, like, for example, like right now, it's all about vacations. I'm seeing everybody coming back from spring break, vacations, all of these great trips, fucking Aruba and this and that. And I'm just like, yeah, I worked. I worked and watched the kids for half the week. Anyway, whatever.
Well.
Anyway. So, yeah, that's my take. My answer is no, I would not want the power.
Me either. I'm gonna firm
pass,
stance
eh?
on that. Yeah.
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 I think
For me, it just, I get what you mean. I see a picture of someone like, you know, like wherever
Yeah.
at the airport, you know, the plane, and I'm just kind of like, Mexico was nice,
Yeah.
you know. And but other than that, I'm like, you know, the next second I'm kind of like, boop.
Yeah.
So
Well, good for you.
if people dwell on it though, oof, that's hard.
Okay, so that's it for the weekly what if. Why do we have FOMO?
How many times have at least I heard where a man or a woman in a marriage is like, you know, oh my God, like, oh, you know, I wish I was single. And the single people are like, oh, all I want to do is find a man, or all I want to do is find a woman, you know, that, you know. So it's like everyone is always after
Yes.
what the other one has,
Yes.
or whatever, you know. So I mean that to me, that's the definition of like FOMO in a way, you know, and it's like,
It's wanting it essentially for me I feel like it's wanting things that you don't have right now.
yeah, and I mean it's so the
And when
why,
somebody else has it and
yeah,
you see that, that's that FOMO. You get FOMO.
yeah,
It's what does it say here? It's an emotional cocktail of envy, regret, and self-doubt, all served with a side of scrolling.
yeah,
Side note, I've always envied people that go on vacation every year. And I'm like, why the fuck, man? Like, why can't I go on vacation every year? And it's like that perception of like being, it's untouchable. Like you can't have that. Well, yeah, you could, but you just have to do X, Y, Z or change this or
you're right, you're right. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, to pertaining at least to what you're saying about the vacations, like,
yeah.
oh, I envy these people like that go every year. They might not eat out. They might not
They're
buy.
making sacrifices. You
Right.
don't see the behind the scenes.
I think that uh, especially turning 40, I really want to get into travel compared to, my gosh, even 5 years ago. Eh. Now, like my kids, I want them to see everything. I mean, I want to see. I don't even know. It's going to be an experience for them and I,
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. We haven't been on a vacation in years. When I say vacation, I just want to clarify that I mean getting on a plane and going somewhere nice and warm and beautiful. Okay. The last time we went on a vacation was like, I'm going to say almost 6 years ago.
Okay.
We've done trips, gone to Niagara Falls. We've like, those are great, but I'm in need, in like a lot of need for tropical breeze and the
All
beach
inclusive.
and oh, you just feed me. I don't want to think about it. Sit by the pool. That I'm like dehydrated for that. Do you know you know that feeling where you're just like I need water.
I used to think it was so overrated.
I
And
did too.
I think responsibilities and everything,
Yeah.
as it creeps up on you, vacation becomes more and more a necessity
Yeah.
in many ways.
Yeah. But also, like you said, that desire for experiences, right?
Mm.
Yeah. I'm dying for some vacations.
I've had this little bit of a kind of almost like a longing, since we're on this, even though it has nothing to
Yeah.
do with FOMO, like a longing for a cabin. I don't know if it's an old age thing, but like a cabin, you know, like in the woods,
Yes.
fire, bring the kids, s'mores, camping. I don't know why, but I feel like right now I wouldn't be able to like choose. Like if I got a cabin, there's no way I could have vacations.
Well, yes, of
And if I
course.
had vacations, there's no way I could have a cabin.
But again, it goes back to sacrificing, right?
Right.
Which one's more important to you right now
Mm.
that you would be willing to like put on hold the other one, kind of thing?
Yeah, that's tough.
But it's so funny because in the last few years, I've thought like we should buy like a family cabin,
That would be cool.
right? Parenting FOMO, I think I can relate to the most, right? From
In what way?
just um seeing other parents and the way that they are with their kids. It could be something as small as a discipline technique that works so well. And you're like, why
Is that
does it not
FOMO?
work for me? Well, it's,
Is that FOMO or is that like envy?
yeah,
Or I
but
guess
well,
envy is
FOMO,
part of.
yeah, it's all, I think it's all, FOMO means fear of missing out. So I'm not missing out on anything in that respect, but there's like an envy. It's like you're watching outside forces, and there's that kind of envy part of it. I don't know. I take it as FOMO. I could be wrong. Listeners, let me know if I am, but that's
Yeah.
how I look at it. Social FOMO for sure. We've already discussed quite a few vacations, all that different kinds of stuff. You know, career FOMO. I've had that. You see somebody successful doing things, something that they love doing, and you're like, man, why am I slogging away?
I've definitely had that feeling before.
Social media, that plays a huge part in FOMO.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes. Because, yeah. Because a lot of it, though, is not real life.
Who I follow is very curated, specifically because I want to avoid FOMO. I used to just scroll and see all kinds of things, right? People on vacation, people doing this, whatever, like the self-care routines, that take 3 hours because you have the time for that. Shit like that, right? And FOMO was a constant thing. You're like, oh my gosh, is this how I should be doing it? If I'm not doing it like this, like whatever, right?
What about stuff with the kids?
Exactly. Parenting, those moms making the fucking lunches.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Where like
So,
the apples are cut like a butterfly.
yeah. Okay. So now I realize that that's not doing anything for me. It's actually making me feel worse about myself. And so I've actually cut all of that shit off of my, like, don't follow anybody like that. You know who I follow now? Mark Manson, Mel Robbins, like Jay Shetty. I think the only frivolous social medias that I follow are going to be like the HGTV stars because I can't do it anymore. It makes me feel shitty. And like I just said, parents dropping your kids off at school and you bump into that mom friend and you're like, hear about their vacation, you're already experiencing FOMO in real life. Who the fuck needs it when you're trying to get away scrolling, right?
Yeah.
JOMO.
JOMO.
JOMO, the joy of missing out. Learning to be content with your choices. Do we actually regret missing things or do we just think that we do?
I think that we think we do.
Yes, exactly. What if missing out is actually a good thing?
I obviously have probably had FOMO before. I don't know. My brain is weird, Like I can't think properly sometimes.
No,
so I don't
but-
remember stuff.
But you know what I think about you? Is I think that you are very, like you have a vision, like you have a direction, right? Like and you don't really, you're very impervious to like outside noise. You're very focused on like, this is what I want, this is where I'm going, this is what is happening.
Yeah.
That you don't let a lot of outside noise in. I've noticed that about you, which fucking FOMO, okay?
Well, thanks. I
Well,
guess.
I wish I could be more like that.
I got FOMO. I just
You
realized.
do?
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
what?
realized what I have FOMO for because I'm doing this competition, this working out competition.
Oh, yes. So explain it a little bit.
So I'm 40 years old, and I had a lot of problems in the past gaining muscle. I would get sick. It turned out I've been deficient for who knows how long in testosterone. So I'm on a TRT plan, and so it has completely changed my life to the point where I can't even it's like I feel 20 again. Okay, So I'm working out now and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually, so I did something crazy and I signed up to a men's physique competition, which is where you go on stage and you're like flexing your
Bodybuilding.
muscles, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And for the record, I'm no Sam Sulek,
Oh,
okay?
you
But
keep dropping these names. I'm like, who are these people? Do you know that I literally have to Google everybody you talk about? I'm like, who are these people?
okay, I'm no Sam Sulek, but Sam Sulek is a great example of someone I have FOMO over
Oh,
because
yeah?
he is built like an ox. So yeah, I guess I do have FOMO in the bodybuilding
Okay.
regard. Yeah,
Okay.
and going on stage, the whole point of doing that is because I've always hated what my body looks like. So to go on stage and show off something that I've worked for that I can finally,
Mm-hmm.
you know, enhance, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, it excites me.
That's so exciting. I'm proud of
So
you.
thanks,
I'm
thanks.
proud of you. That's awesome. Okay, so the dark side of FOMO, the impulse decisions,
Mm,
the impulse buys,
mm-hmm,
right? Uh, the comparison trap, the keeping up culture, and how all of that affects like your mental health, our mental
mm-hmm.
health. How many times have been scrolling on social media and you'll be like, oh, look at that cute little gadget she's using or he's using. I'll be like, Amazon, buy, all in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I've had to kind of self evaluate and take away some of those little triggers that kind
Mm-hmm.
of make me go down that rabbit hole
Yeah.
because it's just not healthy. It just doesn't make me feel good about myself. And then when you don't feel good about yourself, you're perpetuating the cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing all of these things because you think you need to, or because you think it'll get you there, or whatever your motivation behind doing them is. And when you never get there, you fucking feel like shit all the time.
Mm.
So I don't bother. I don't bother anymore. But I still have some moments of weakness, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody does, I'm sure.
For sure. I mean, going back to, I mean, everything. If we're on the topic of like what I was just talking about, like the bodybuilding supplements, right away, you see, I don't know, again, Sam Sulek or whoever, and he's like, this, let me tell you,
Hmm.
this has changed my. We're buying it.
Yep.
It changed his life. Like we need to buy it.
Yes. Well, I think it's in a way like a self-inflicted peer pressure, almost.
Mm,
Right?
mm,
Think about, okay, so this is us talking about it in our 40s. Think about how we felt in our teens,
mm.
right?
Yeah.
When your friends were hanging out without you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that shit was not fun. I didn't like that feeling.
Yeah, I remember we used to always go out every weekend, and if some reason the phone didn't ring or there was no text, and that weekend kind of went by, you were almost a little salty.
Yeah. What about in our 20s? I'm trying to think. I mean, I had a different perspective. I was a single mom. All of my friends didn't have kids. So they were out there living their lives. So I had FOMO in that respect, kind of like I didn't get to go out anytime I wanted. When I did, I was a little more selective with what I was doing and who I was with because I wasn't able to do it as often.
Mm-hmm.
But I still felt FOMO. Kind of sucked, like everybody's getting together and
Yeah.
you're not there, and you're hearing stories. So I definitely, the social aspect of FOMO, I definitely felt in my teens and my 20s.
I think for me it was the opposite. So I felt FOMO if I was not at home. And that was all connected to like the game I was playing or whatever.
Okay.
So like being out in my head, I was like, oh man, if I was home, I could be doing this.
Really?
So I'd say it was the opposite for me. Yeah, which is weird,
Would
eh?
you say that's the introvert in you?
Probably. Probably.
Yeah. Oh, FOBO. Have you heard of that?
FOBO?
FOBO.
I've
A
heard of
fear.
FURBO.
FOBO. FOMO versus FOBO, which is fear of better options, which is FOBO is not committing to anything because something better might come along.
Oh boy.
Do we spend too much time deciding and end up missing out because we're waiting for the best option?
There are a lot of people like that. I would say that
I'm not one of them.
I was going to say I would like to think that I'm not one of them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm one of them.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think that that is a really not a fun way to look at things.
No. You're like, I feel like it would be like holding back. Then you really are missing out on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But also, even just, okay, and this is going to, maybe I'm taking it into a completely different direction, but even just like the option of fucking up and learning from it. If you're not taking any actions, right?
Well, that's something that you only learn later.
It's true though. Like, and I think you brought it up at one point in one of the past episodes where your failure, the failures that you go through are what motivate you to keep going.
Yeah, because you learn
It's
something.
actually, yeah, it's actually not that the successes are great, but it's not what it's not necessarily what drives you.
Yeah, because well,
Do you
that's
know
where
what I mean?
that's
Like,
yeah, that's where the cliche line of it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I think there's a lot in that
yeah,
to unravel.
yeah, for sure. And I didn't, to be honest, I didn't even know that FOBO even existed. I was just like, they've got an acronym for everything. We could talk about this shit all fucking day. Let's
Quit our
just
jobs, man.
Yeah. But what do you think is worse, FOMO or FOBO? I think FOBO is worst.
I think FOBO too.
Okay, so now we're going to do some this or that.
This or that, okay?
This or that segment, okay? FOMO edition. Would you rather miss an amazing concert or miss an epic trip with friends?
Well, I have APD, so there's no way I'm doing the concert. So I don't care about the concert.
So you would rather miss the concert. I'm going to say, yeah, I would rather, it depends what friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I would rather miss the concert as well.
Yeah, me, it could be anything.
I can listen to music in my...
Yeah, it could be anything. Concerts just,
I'm okay.
They don't really do it for me.
Although, unless it was Taylor Swift. I was really, 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 like, okay, don't look at... Let's relax there with the face. With this Eras tour...
Taylor Swift, really?
Love Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie, and it was very clear when I went to the Eras Tour Cineplex edition. Surrounded by a lot of Swifties, I was like, oh boy, okay. There are a couple of songs I don't know all the words to, you know?
Was it that crazy?
Oh it
my
was
gosh.
insane. It was insane.
I can't do concerts, man. I just get a headache and I want to go home.
I'm very picky about who I want to see live. Like, it really has to matter, especially with concert ticket prices lately.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Anyways, I wouldn't have been able to afford Taylor Swift concerts, like tickets, even if I could go to the concert. But yeah, I did it. I had a little bit of FOMO for that one. Okay, see people hanging out without you, or not get invited in the first place. So basically, just decide not to go or not get invited at all. You don't care?
No,
Would it have mattered to you at any point in your life?
probably.
Yeah,
I think I would rather get invited and not go.
of course, right? You want to feel included. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I agree. I'm on the same page. Okay, stay home and regret it, or go out and have a mediocre time.
It's hard for me to stay home and regret it.
So,
I would love to just stay home.
Yeah.
Like stay home and regret. That can't
Those words don't go together
Yeah,
for me.
it doesn't go together.
No, no. Hot takes. Is FOMO worse now than it used to be?
Probably because of social media.
Yeah. Does social media make us more or less happy overall?
Less happy.
Yeah. One thing we both don't regret missing out on.
Botox?
Okay.
I don't know.
What do I not regret missing out on?
Not regret missing out on. Yeah, like Botox, plastic surgery. I don't give a shit about that stuff. I don't know. It's random, but I don't know what else to think of.
That's true. Okay, final thought. Are we actually missing out? Or are we just thinking that we are?
I mean, in most scenarios, I think we are.
Yeah.
I think we think we are, and really we're not. I think I have become a lot more humble with what I do have over the years, as opposed to always looking everywhere else.
Oh, yes. Yes. I do have an appreciation for the things that I do have most of the time. Not perfect. Anyways, great conversation. This was fun.
This was good.
This was a good one. Okay. All right. So, what did we learn today? FOMO is basically just our brains messing with us. Social media makes it worse. And half the time, we're probably not missing out on anything life-changing.
Drop your FOMO experiences into the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our next episode.
I see what you did there. All right, we're out. Bye, guys.
Bye.